Hi everyone, it's Caitlin, and today, as you can already tell by the title of this video, I'm doing a kind of like a book review on Girl in Pieces by Kathleen Glasgow. Now, I've never done a book review before, so I don't know how well I'm going to do this, but basically, I have to get this off my chest because I read this last night and I can't. It's just such a fantastic book. First of all, this is what I was already going to do this video, but then I woke up to this kind of news and I was like, that's it. I'm doing it. Everyone needs to know. I posted a picture of this on my Instagram last night and wrote a little message kind of thing underneath it. And so I tagged the author Kathleen Glasgow, and I woke up this morning and she had liked, commented and followed me, and I was just blown away. I was like, this doesn't happen to me. So, yes. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this book. I will try so hard not to spoil it, but I'll basically just tell you how I felt about it and what I thought the book was going to be about beforehand. I bought this at Big W, and this is the second book that I've gone to Big W for, and I haven't had a book in mind when looking for it. Like, does that make sense? Like, I've gone into Big W and gone into the book section because I do that every time I go to Big W. Like, without a doubt, you'll find me in the book section. And I haven't like gone to the book section to look for a certain book. Like, I've just picked this one up, and I got Breathing Underwater by Sophie Hardcastle. I got that one at Big W as well, and it was the other book that I picked up at a different time, and I wasn't looking for it. I picked it up, read the back, and I was like, oh yeah, that could be good. So, yeah, I didn't intend on buying this book. I've never even heard of it before. So I'll read the back, and I'll tell you what I thought it was going to be about. So it says, you can spot the girls who will have it easy. I don't even have to describe them for you. You can spot the girls who will get by on smarts. You can spot the girls who will get by because they're tough or athletic. And then there's me. So, after reading this, I thought that it was going to be about like a girl in high school and she just doesn't fit in, and it was kind of going to be about that. And I don't know, like, I thought that, but at the same time, I kind of looked at the cover and I was like, it feels, I mean, first of all, you can feel this. I don't know, can you, it's like stitched in. Well, it's not actually stitched in, but it's meant to look like it is. And that, I don't know, when I saw that, I was like, there's got to be a story behind why the cover looks like this. And so, that's the back. I read the back of it in the store, and I was like, alright, that sounds pretty cool. And then when I didn't actually know that the real blurb kind of thing, like, about, where is it? Oh, first page. About the book, which, like, is kind of like the blurb. I didn't know that that was inside the book. So I bought the book, and then, as I do, after I buy a book in store, I always go and, like, look online to see if I could get it somewhere cheaper, which is stupid because I already bought it anyway. But I looked on Book Depository or something like that, and I actually read this bit on Book Depository, which is about the book, and I will read it to you. It says, Charlotte Davis is in pieces. At 17, she's already lost more than most people lose in a lifetime, but she's learnt how to forget. The broken glass washes away the sorrow until there is nothing but calm. You don't have to think about your father in the river, your best friend who is gone forever, or your mother who has nothing left to give you. Every new scar hardens Charlie's heart just a little more, yet it still hurts so much. It hurts enough to not care anymore, which is sometimes what has to happen before you can find your way back from the edge. A deeply moving portrait of a girl in a world that owes her nothing and has taken so much, and the journey she undergoes to put herself back together. Kathleen Glasgow's debut is heartbreakingly real, unflinchingly honest. It's a story you won't be able to look away from. And that last couple of sentences is like the exact representation you will get from this book. The bit where it says, heartbreakingly real, unflinchingly honest, it's a story you won't be able to look away from. I will remember Charlie Davis for the rest of my freaking life. Like, oh my god. So after reading that, I was like, okay, so there's a little bit more to the story than meets the eye. Like, because I picked this up thinking that it was about a girl in high school and that she was just it was going to be like another one of those kind of cliche books. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love cliche books. Like, people hate them, but like cliche books and cliche movies just touched my heart. But I thought this was going to be like that. I thought it was going to be about a girl in high school who doesn't fit in because of the back. It says, so, you know, you can spot the girls that'll get far in life. But upon opening the book, it was a whole different thing. Like, and it's one of those books that you just can't put down. So I already kind of filmed my video, but I just felt like I didn't really explain what the book was really about. But because I did that, I kind of didn't want to spoil anything. But I found a way to like talk about it that I won't be spoiling anything. So basically this book is about a girl called Charlotte Davis, but they call her Charlie, and she wakes up, she tried to kill herself, and she wakes up in like a rehab place for girls, and she's with all these other girls that have had stuff like what's happened to her kind of happen. And previously Charlie had lived on the streets, so being in this like rehab center where she's getting 3 meals a day and she's got a bed to sleep on and she's got a roof over her head, she doesn't want to leave. And after her insurance runs out, she can't stay there anymore, so she has to leave. And so she ends up leaving and going and staying with her friend Mikey, who is a musician, and so he isn't actually there all the time because he's on tour. And so she has to find herself a job, and she has to find herself her own home and stuff, and all these different things happen in between all that. And she meets a boy called Riley who ends up giving her the job, and things happen with him and some traumatic things happen, and it's just a whole cyclone of emotions basically. I don't really want to say anything more just in case I spoil it, but if you really want to know more about that, you'll have to read on. You'll have to pick it up yourself and read it. So, yeah. I don't know, I've had this on my shelf for a couple of weeks now, and I've kind of been like, should I read it? Like, am I in the mood? But as soon as I opened the first page and the first chapter, I went, I'm not going to put this book down. It's just, oh my god. Like, I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but it is so amazing. But I also don't think that anyone can read it, because it goes through a lot of hard things and very traumatic kind of things. And I feel like if like someone, I don't know, I just feel like there's people out there that just wouldn't kind of understand it. Not that they wouldn't understand it, because it's pretty easy to understand, but I just feel like they get a different feel towards it. I don't know. I don't want to spoil it and tell you what type of people, you know what I mean? But, yeah, I don't know. But I have cried so many times during this book. I don't know if it's just because I'm over emotional at the moment, but yeah, I don't know. I'm one of those people that kind of like reads a book, and if the main character like is a girl, well, it actually doesn't matter if it's a girl or not, but most of the books I read is about the girl being the main character. But if I read a book and the main character is like humiliated, or she's put under pressure or put in a situation she doesn't like, I will cry, because I hate those types of situations. And I don't know, there's just a couple of times in this book where she's kind of going through like a little bit of hardship. I mean, the whole book she's going through a bit of hardship, but there was just moments in it where I was kind of like, oh my god, and I cried. It wasn't like bawling, but I was like, ah! I don't know how to explain it. But I do remember like one line, like I tried so hard not to read another book after this one, because it touched my soul. And I really wanted to do this kind of like review. I don't know if you would call it a review, I don't know. I don't know what the frig I'm doing, but I tried so hard not to read another book afterwards, and I don't think you understand how hard it is for me not to read another book after reading a book. I kind of like felt like I had to sit in a room and not do anything, because otherwise I would just lose what happens in this book. I don't know if anybody else has that problem. They just get caught up in all these different books. They don't know where it's come from. But I do remember this one line in this book that made me cry. Like, there's multiple times in the book that's made me cry, but there's this one bit in here that made me cry. And I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but I feel like I have to say this. So if you don't want to hear it, if you want to read this book and you don't want to hear it, it's only like one line. I don't think it's spoiling anything. I hope. Oh shit. So basically at the end there's a bit where he's like, she gets called Charlie in the book, so he's like, I do love you, Charlie, and I was like, don't do this to me. So yeah, and also, I don't know if anybody else has like the problem, it's not really a problem, but you just find a really, really good book and you just don't want to put it down, so you end up reading like all the fine print on it. Like, I'm talking like, my camera just died, so if I'm in a different spot, I'm sorry. Anyway, so what I was saying before the camera died, this is one of those books that I just could not put down, so I ended up reading like every single little piece of writing in this book, like all the publishing things and stuff. No offense, but nobody reads that stuff, like in any book, really, unless they need to. One of the characters in the book has like this saying that she says all the time. It's like a word. She says angelic, and at the back of the book, the author Kathleen Glasgow has done one of those like author's notes things, and at the end of it, I need to like, if I went to like a high school in America, which I don't go to high school anymore because I graduated, but if I went to a high school in America and I was in like the yearbook and they do like those senior quotes or whatever, I mean, I think that's how it works, I don't know, I'm Australian, I don't get it, but if there was like a senior quote for me, it would definitely be this line. You ready? Are you ready? Be absolutely, positively fucking angelic. Do it! I feel like this, like, I don't know if anybody else gets like a book and they just love it so much, or even like a song and they just love it so much that they just want to they just want to write the words and the quotes and the lyrics every single where that they possibly can, and they just want to express themselves so much about this piece of artwork, and they just don't know how to because they don't know if anybody else knows about it, you know what I mean? Like, I felt like I needed to change, like, this is going to sound so stupid and so, like, first world problems, but I felt like I needed to put one of the quotes from this book into, like, my Instagram bio. Like, that sounds so stupid, and I get it. You're just going to be like, what the hell, Caitlin, that's so stupid. But, honestly, I feel like I need to throw it out somewhere, but I don't know. Also, this book, I feel like I want to, like, shout it from the rooftops and tell everyone to read it, but I feel like not everyone would get it. I feel like not everyone would come back after reading it and feel the way that I feel about it, or, I don't know, like, I can't put into words how much I love this book, and I can't put into words what it's about, because, spoiler alert, and also, there's just no words to explain how beautiful it is, but at the same time it's not beautiful because of what happens in the book. It's heartbreaking and it's just honest, and it's, I don't know, I wouldn't say, I don't know, I was thinking about the words that I would choose to say about this book, and I thought of inspirational, but at the same time it's not inspirational unless you're going through the same thing that Charlie Davis is going through. And not everyone goes through that, and to anyone that knows what I'm talking about and has read this book, I feel for you when you are going through these types of things. Like, for anyone that's read it and they go through this type of thing, like, oh my god, I can't put into words how much this book has changed my life. Like, I don't know, I feel after reading this, I feel like I have like a new outlook on life, because now I won't take for granted what I have, and that, I mean, not that I really did, but at the same time you don't really think about it. When you've got a computer and you've got a phone and you've got a camera to do this type of thing, and you've got food on the table and you've got a home and you've got parents, you don't really step back and you go, wow, I'm grateful. You kind of just take it because it's an everyday thing. But for Charlie Davis, she did not have that. She didn't have all of those things. She had a hard life. She was 17 years old and she had to get all these things by herself, with all the struggle of all the things that she's had done to her in the past. And I feel like she's inspirational. And I know what you're thinking, Caitlin, she's a fictional character. Yes, I get it, but I get attached to characters, okay? I can't help it. I've read books before. I've read multiple books before. I've read hundreds of books, and, like, literally when I say hundreds of books, if you watch, like, my bookshelf tour, you're probably thinking, Caitlin, you don't have hundreds of books. How could you have read hundreds of books? But I literally read like 4 or 5 books a day on Wattpad. So, yeah, but I have read books. I have read heaps of books. I've read books about so many different things. But this book stood out to me the most because it wasn't like the rest. Like, the rest of them are about, you know, like a girl meets a boy and they fall in love. But this is like real. This is like a real thing. It could happen to anyone. And I'm not sure if it's, I don't think it is based on the author's life, but I think that if you read the back of it, like the author's note thing, you would know that she's had problems. I don't want to say that. I'm not sure. I don't know. But at the back it says that she dealt with one of the issues in this book. So and that's why she wrote the book. So yeah, but I don't know. It's such a real concept. And like, you read all these books about people falling in love. I mean, like, yeah, that's real, but this is a different kind of real. This is a different aspect of real. I don't know what I'm saying. Oh my god, I can't find the words. I can't find the words to express the deep and meaningful meaning about this book. As I said, I've read books. I've read books about girls and girls falling in love with guys and how hard it is and through hardships and things, you know, people breaking up. I've read stories about abuse and, you know, coming out on the other side and falling in love with a guy that's helped you or whatever. But this book is different. Like, I've read books about similar issues that this book entails, but this book is just, I don't know what else to say. I don't know what to say. You'll have to read it for yourself to understand what I'm talking about, but at the same time, you've got to be a certain person to read it. You can't just go into it like, I don't want to spoil it. That's why I'm kind of like not telling you what type of person you need to be, but I don't know. I just feel like not everyone could pick up the book and enjoy it. They'd probably pick it up and be like, oh, that's a bit heavy, that's a bit, you know, but I loved it. I loved it. That's all I can say. So, Kathleen Glasgow, if you're watching this, which I doubt, but if you are, thank you so much for writing such a powerful and, dare I say, inspiring book about Charlie Davis. She will be with me for the rest of my life, and there are books on my bookshelf that I have read and I have gone, yeah, that's a good book, but will I read it again? You know what I mean? There's only maybe 2 or 3 books on there that I've actually read again because it was so good, but I feel like I will keep this book forever and I will pass it on to people that I think would benefit from it. So if I know you, I know that there are a couple of people that I have in mind that would love this book, but I don't want to reach out to them and be like, hey, I think that you would love this book, and then they read it and then they go like, why do you think that I would love it? Like, what are you trying to say? You know what I mean? But, so yeah, I don't know what else to say. I feel like there's so many different things that I haven't said about this book that I need to say about this book. I keep looking in the viewfinder and I'm so sorry. I feel like there's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of words that I could put and tell you about this book, but it doesn't come to mind because I'm so like shocked with how much I love this book and how much it's just like changed my life. And I don't know, I recommend this book, but not to everyone. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I keep saying that, but that's all I'm going to say. So, thank you, Kathleen Glasgow, for writing this amazing story. And if anybody else has read this book or is about to read this book or they're halfway through reading this book, tell me what you think about it. And also, I knew there was something else I had to say. The chapters in this, like, the book is split in 3 different parts, right? And, like, each part is, like, that thick. You know, like, they're each, like, this thick. That's not actually where they're parted at, but, like, you get it. And each of, like, the chapters, I don't know if they even are chapters because they have, like, this little thing that is, like, the front cover. It's, like, stitched in. Here we go. Here's an example. Like, that's one chapter. I don't know, it's not really, it doesn't say like chapter 1, but that's like one page right there. I'm sorry this is a long video and I'm just rambling about nonsense because I can't find words to tell you how much I love this book. But yeah, if you've read this book, if you're in the middle of reading this book, if you're about to read this book, let me know, because I really want to know what type of people are reading this book, because I don't know, I have a feeling that not everyone could read it, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm just saying that because I don't want everyone to read it. I want it to be my little secret, but there are thousands of people out there that have read this book and I feel selfish. Anyway, I hope you like this video, even though all I did was ramble and you probably got no information about the book out of it. But yeah, if you like these reviews, I will do another one. I feel like the other book that I really enjoyed, which also I told the author about and she got back to me, so I was like, hell yeah, girl. Which is Breathing Underwater by Sophie Hardcastle. That's kind of... it's not anywhere near this book, this type of thing, but she goes through a couple of things similar to what happens in here, like, only, like, tiny things. Yeah, I might do another review on that, because like this book, sorry, I walked out after reading Breathing Underwater by Sophie Hardcastle, and I was, like, shook, like, the same as this book. I walked into the kitchen and was like, what am I doing? I don't know what to do with my life now that that book's over. It's touched me, like, I don't know, it's such a touching story. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up now because this is probably already a really long video, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want more book reviews, let me know on what books. Let me know if you even like these reviews, and not that it's even a review, I keep calling it that, but I don't know what else to call it. So yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe and comment, and follow all my social medias that are down below. And I'm also trying to get to 50 subscribers before the end of the year, and I'm at 36 subscribers at the moment, so I know what you're probably thinking, Caitlin, you're at nothing. I know that, but 36 is better than no one, so yeah, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment, and until next time, see you later!